naturally, was terrified. "Who are you, and what have you done with my husband?" she asked that evening, eyeing the bouquet of lilies on the table. "I just felt like being appreciative," Jeff said, his voice an octave higher than usual. "You bought me diamond earrings, Jeff," she said, holding up the small velvet box he had left on her pillow. "The last time you bought me jewelry without a holiday involved, you had accidentally deleted my entire Sex and the City DVR queue. It's just love," Jeff squeaked. But the truth has a way of leaking out in a New York apartment building. Between the thin walls and the shared elevators, secrets were less like locked vaults and more like open sieves. Chapter 3. The Ghost of Russell's Future. While Jeff was drowning in a sea of gilt diamonds, Russell was facing his own demons on the playground. He had returned to the newsstand, determined to reclaim his dignity from the pint-sized tyrant. "Hey, kid," Russell said, leaning against the chain-link fence. The boy, a freckled terror named Bronson, looked up from his juice box. "Oh, look, it's the guy who looks like a Q-tip." "Listen here, you miniature sociopath," Russell hissed. "I have more money in my wallet than your father makes in a year. I have a car that goes 0 to 60 faster than you can spell recess." "You're wearing makeup," Bronson said flatly. Russell paused. "It's tinted moisturizer. I have combination skin. It's a complex dermatological situation." "You're a girl," Bronson concluded. "I am a man of the world!" Russell shouted, attracting the attention of a very attractive teacher nearby. She walked over, her brow furrowed. "Is there a problem here?" "No," Russell said, instantly switching to his suave persona. "I was just mentoring the lad, giving him some life advice." "Right? Sport?" Bronson looked at the teacher, then back at Russell. "He said he wanted to see my driver's license." The teacher's eyes narrowed. "Sir, I think you should leave." Russell retreated, his ego bruised and his pale skin flushing a vibrant, shameful pink. He ended up at the diner, staring into a cup of coffee that felt as empty as his soul. "I'm losing it, guys," he told Adam and Jeff later. "A kid beat me. A kid with a Velcro wallet. What's next? Am I going to start wearing pleated khakis? Am I going to join a bowling league?" "Welcome to middle age, Russell," Jeff said, finally feeling a bit of his old self returning. "It doesn't come for you all at once. It just nibbles at your dignity until there's nothing left but a collection of t-shirts from the 80 seconds and a fear of stairs." Chapter 4. The Biology of Hope. The laughter at the diner usually covered the cracks in their lives, but some cracks were too wide for a joke to bridge. For Jeff and Audrey, the silence in their apartment had grown heavier lately. They had been not trying, but not trying to have a baby for months. "Maybe we should get checked out," Audrey said one night, her voice quiet. Jeff froze. To a man like Jeff, his swimmers were a point of pride, even if he'd never actually seen them in action. "Checked out? Like a library book?" "I'm fine, Audrey. I'm a high-performance machine." "Machines need tune-ups, Jeff." A week later, they found themselves in a clinic that smelled faintly of lavender and expensive anxiety. Jeff was handed a plastic cup and directed toward a room that contained a stack of magazines he hadn't seen since his bachelor days and a very clinical-looking chair. "I feel like I'm cheating on you with a cup," Jeff whispered as they stood in the hallway. "Just do your best, high-performance machine," Audrey teased, though her eyes were tight with worry. When the results came back, the news wasn't a catastrophe, but it wasn't a victory either. "Slow swimmers," the doctor said, pointing to a chart. "Low motility. They're basically taking the scenic route, Mr. Bingham." "They're relaxed," Jeff protested. "They're not lazy, they're just methodical. They're like me. They don't rush into things." But the reality hit him harder than he let on. For the first time, Jeff felt the weight of his age. He looked at Adam, vibrant, fertile, annoying Adam, and felt a pang of something he rarely felt: envy. Chapter 5. The T-shirt Quilt. To cheer him up, Audrey decided to tackle the clutter in Jeff's closet. She found a mountain of old T-shirts, relics of a life before marriage. There was the Syracuse '87 Kegmeister shirt, the Huey Lewis and the News Tour shirt, and a faded rag from a spring break in Daytona that still smelled faintly of coconut oil and regret. She didn't throw them away. She spent 3 weeks at a local craft shop working in secret. On a rainy Tuesday, she presented him with a heavy, colorful bundle. "Happy just because day," she said. Jeff unrolled it. It was a quilt, a massive, thick blanket made entirely of his old shirts. "You turned my life into a girl thing," Jeff said, his voice thick. "I turned your memories into a warm thing," she countered. He ran his hand over the Citibank 10K challenge square. "I didn't even run that race. I just found the shirt in a gutter." "I know," she smiled. "But you wore it the night we met." Jeff pulled her under the quilt. It was heavy, a bit scratchy, and smelled like home. In that moment, the slow swimmers, the bully in the playground, and the awkward massage didn't matter. They were under the quilt of their own making. It wasn't perfect, it was slightly irregular, just like the hoodies Adam bought, but it was theirs. And as the city hummed outside their window, Jeff realized that while the geometry of love was complicated, the math was simple. 2 people, 1 quilt, and the courage to fill up every little waffle hole, one day at a time. Chapter 6. The Promotion Paradox. Success is a curious thing in a marriage. When it's shared, it's a feast. When it's lopsided, it's a minefield. Audrey burst into the apartment on a Tuesday evening, her face flushed with the kind of radiance that usually required a vacation or a very expensive serum. "I got it, Jeff! Senior Deputy Editor of Indoor Living." Jeff was on the couch, his eyes glued to the TV. The Knicks were down by 2 with 4 seconds on the clock. "Kudos," he muttered, his hand buried in a bag of pretzels. "Kudos?" Audrey repeated, the word landing like a wet napkin. "I just got a corner office, a 20% raise, and tickets to the Met, and you're giving me a cereal bar slogan? Wait. Marbury's taking the shot." "No, damn it!" He shanked it. Jeff slammed his fist into the cushion. "Stupid. Lazy. How do you miss a layup at the buzzer?" "Jeff." Her voice was low, dangerous. "What? Oh, the promotion. That's great, honey, really. Met tickets? Since when do we care about the Mets?" "The Met? Jeff? The opera? Music? Culture? Things that happen indoors that don't involve a orange ball." Jeff finally turned, sensing the shift in the room's atmospheric pressure. "I'm sorry. I am. It's just, it was a buzzer beater. Audrey, my heart is still in overtime. You deserve it. You're a smart cookie, a stone fox." "Don't stone fox me to fix this," she said, though the corner of her mouth twitched. "I thought you'd be happy. You lost that big account last week. I thought some extra household income would take the pressure off." "I was glad to lose that account," Jeff lied. "Client was a pain, always asking for updates and professionalism. Who has time for that?" But the truth was deeper. Jeff felt a flicker of the old-school masculine ego. He was supposed to be the provider, the rock. Seeing Audrey climb the ladder while he felt like he was treading water in his own career made him feel small. Not Russell bullied by a third-grader small, but close. To make it up to her, he promised a celebration. Friday night, floor seats, the Knicks, VIP treatment, you, me, and Spike Lee. Audrey sighed. "Spike Lee? Fine, but I'm wearing the Prada boots, and if I get sweat on me, you're paying for the dry cleaning." Chapter 7. The Twilight Sequoia. While the Binghams were negotiating the terms of their celebration, Adam and Jennifer were having their first real collision with the logistics of forever. It started with a $500 gaming console. "It's an investment, Jen," Adam pleaded as he unpacked the sleek black box. "It's state-of-the-art. It has social connectivity. I can run over hookups with my friends in real time." "We're saving for a wedding, Adam," Jennifer said, her arms crossed. "And a honeymoon. And a house in the suburbs where we can have 2 kids and 2 dogs, and you can kill bears." I was being hyperbolic about the bear. "The point is, we need to be a team. Fiscal responsibility. No big purchases without talking to each other first." Adam sighed, defeated by the logic of adulthood. "Fine. You're right. We should sacrifice. Together." "Good," Jennifer said. "I'll start. I'll stop going to Philippe's for my hair color. I'll do it myself, at home. With a kit from the drugstore." Adam winced. He knew Philippe. Philippe was a magician. The drugstore was a gamble. "Are you sure? Philippe has those tiny scissors and the fancy water." "I'm sure. We're being grown-ups." 3 hours later, Adam walked into the bathroom to find Jennifer standing over the sink, looking like she had just performed an exorcism on a chocolate cake. Brown liquid was splattered on the tiles, the towels, and dripping from her forehead. "It's not brown," she sobbed. "It's Twilight Sequoia. And it's burning my eye, Adam. It's burning." "Oh God, Jen, don't move. I'll get the neutralizer. There is no neutralizer. It's permanent. I'm going to have sequoia-colored skin for